Hello everyone, welcome to Greyhammer, and today we're going to be doing a care guide for Pleistodon laticeps, or the Broadhead Skink. There are, as far as I can tell, no care guides online for this species, so I'm going to do one. They're not the most popular reptile to keep. For one, they're native to the southeastern United States, so similar to what my terrarium. That's my state there, so they're found all throughout the range here. Somewhat common species. I didn't realize that they were mainly arboreal, because I've always seen them sunning in like the driveway. So they are definitely a sun-loving species. They're a very distinctive skink. A lot of people think they're venomous because they have that big bright red head. They are not, at least as far as we know, which, you know, with lizards is always a little suspect because lizard venom has not been researched very well just because they don't have venom glands. Also, people think because they have this broad snout that they have venom glands. Most lizards don't have venom glands, and even the venomous ones, a lot of the venomous ones have it in their saliva, not in a venom gland, but not important. So it is a skink, a medium to large skink, reaching around 6 inches to 13 inches. So this is one of the larger species of lizards in the southeast United States. The one that is, there's a few larger that I can think of. The eastern roadrunner, whiptail, the eastern whiptail lizard, race runner, eastern race runner. That's what it is, and the legless lizards that we have. So the Ophosaurus and Ophosaurus ventralis, or the I think that's the eastern glass lizard, and then you've got the slender glass lizard. I almost kept one of those. Was going to keep one of those for the terrarium, but I kind of plans change, you know. But so into the Pleistodon laticeps. This is going to be very similar for the five-line skink and the southeastern five-line skink. Southeastern five-line skink is illegal to keep in Alabama, so therefore I'm not getting one. But I may get a five-line skink. Those are less arboreal, so when I talk about enclosures for them, you're going to want a different setup. So this is kind of like a drawing picture. Obviously, when you looked at the actual picture, it was less green. That's 1842, so old stuff. Get its name from wide jaws. Habitat. So this is kind of these two, well, these three are really going to be the important ones for everyday keeping, and then this one is going to be for keeping with trying to breed, which they are not really bred in captivity as far as I can tell. So basically, I probably will be wild catching these myself if I can find them. You can occasionally find them for sale, like, well, it's Reptile I think it's American Reptile Distributor. Reptile Distributors, but for one, I think they're wild caught, and for two, I just saw it. So one, I think they're wild caught. We can just double check. Lizards, skinks. I believe it's one of the first ones that popped up I was looking at today. Broadheaded skink. That looks like a female, probably. Maybe not. Wait, maybe if I click. Okay, no, it's not going to change. This just looks significant. $60 for a male, $50 for a female. These pit bull lizards, field collected. Yeah, so wild caught. So if you live in the southeastern United States, just catch them yourself, put them in a quarantine tank if you are going to cohabitate them with anything. Don't pay 50 or 60 bucks to keep a lizard that was wild caught, that you can find in your area. If you're going to keep a wild caught animal, you might as well do it yourself so you know that it's being humanely captured. Broadhead skinks, semi-arboreal, which I did not realize, strongly associated with live oak trees. So you're going to want to give them some climbing spaces, so that's what we can get from that. Does not appear that they have a preference for tree size, rather they prefer trees with holes. So some cork bark rounds with like holes drilled into it seems like that might be a good idea. Juveniles stay closer to the ground on low or fallen branches. So males have been known to guard preferred trees. Dead and decaying leaves are important for nesting, so keep your leaf litter up with bioactive setup for these would be really great. Fallen logs are also essential, so some more cork barks or some logs if you're able to sterilize them. Soon in I think this is the old Latin name. They probably were once called Humekis because that's just common. A lot of the Plesiodon species used to be in Humekis. Broadhead skinks are the most arboreal of the North American Plesiodon. They forage on the ground, but also easily and often climb trees for shelter, to sleep, or to search for food. Broadhead skinks often feed on what are called hidden prey items that can only be located by searching under debris, soil, or litter. So they will eat your isopods. Also, earthworms would be a great thing for them to eat. They are preyed on, doesn't matter for this. They can lose their tail, so handling should be kept to a minimum. They are capable of detecting integumentary chemical stimuli from 2 species of snakes, so I guess they can find snakes. Typically, females will flee before males do if they're found in pairs. Males during the breeding season tend to stand their ground. Broad-headed skinks rely on coloration and directional stimuli to determine which end of the prey item to attack. When consuming large invertebrates, they often carry them to shelter to avoid being preyed upon. So they can eat relatively large invertebrate prey. They've got that big head, so roaches are a definite can feed, and large crickets. Diet, well, here we go. They consume a wide variety of different organisms, but mostly contain insects, larvae, gastropods, snails, and spiders. They are daytime feeders and will actively hunt prey. Their diet consists of what is available at the time of their feeding. They have been documented consuming anoles, so you could give them feeder anoles. If you cohabitate them with anoles, I would suggest, which is what I'm going to be doing, having some thinner branches that the broadhead skink will not be as adept at climbing. Again, big, pretty heavy lizard. Give the anoles some place to leave, and you want it to be a large enclosure. You want the broadheaded skink to have a very difficult time catching an anole. They have also been seen cannibalizing their young. Their larger size allows them to consume a wider range of prey. You could probably even feed these guys pinky mice, if I'd have to guess. They've been seen avoiding predators and dismissing food when it's too dangerous, so seems to be a relatively intelligent lizard. Smaller prey is easier to grab, and they can eat it right away, where larger prey takes longer. Because handling time increases with prey size, larger prey is not necessarily the most profitable. Okay. Then if you want to breed them, males are typically larger than females, so you know how to sex them. Large males guard females during breeding season. They remain in pairs for long periods of time for foraging, basking, and mating, so good to keep more than one. The larger the female, the more eggs she will lay. Males thus often try to mate with the largest female they can find. Large adult males in South Carolina will guard females within their territories and chase away smaller males. So probably should only keep one male, could do multiple females. Females will also mate with the largest males they can find. Females only have a preference on body size of males when reproducing. They tend to look over the more dominant feature of bright orange heads on the species. Females emit a pheromone. Males, okay. The female lays 8 to 22 eggs, which she guards and protects until they hatch in June or July. Female broadhead skinks will lay their clutch in decaying log cavities, and they have been observed to create a sort of nest by packing down debris. The hatchlings will be about 2.5 inches to 3 inches long. And then we've already talked about their range. So what will you need? You want a substrate that they can kind of burrow around in. They are a skink, so they do kind of with heavy leaf litter. The substrate is probably not as important, but remember they're dependent on live oak. So you'll probably want some live oak leaf litter, which is pretty easy to either get from this area if you sterilize them, usually by boiling, or you can buy it at the pet store. So you'll definitely want that. I would suggest plenty of hiding places, either in the forms of rocks or branches, specifically hollow logs, and then large things that they can climb on. Again, this is a heavy, large lizard, so it won't be able to go on super thin branches very easily, which you can use to your advantage if you're cohabitating. If they do end up eating my anoles, it won't be the end of the world, but I don't expect it, because anoles, in my view, from what I've observed, they are significantly more agile than broadhead skinks. So let's look at some enclosures from some different companies. So first we've got custom reptile habitats. So they can reach up to a foot long. So you could theoretically put them in a 2-foot enclosure. I'm pretty sure that, they only have 3-foot enclosures. So you could just put them in this one, which is the 40-gallon. Then this one is a 3-foot by 2-foot by 2-foot. That's a good one to keep them in. So $200 is about bottom range. Personally, so yeah, these two would be good to keep them in. Oh, that's significantly more expensive than that one. I think that one might come with a background. But I'm trying to get some reputable brands. Custom Reptile Habitats is pretty much known for having good enclosures. Speaking of which, Custom Reptile Habitats, if you want to set me up with an 8-foot enclosure so I don't have to build one, that could be really cool. Definitely rep your brand. I can't take it now if you do, but that's my little plug. You could probably keep a Pleistodon laticeps in this one or this one, but here you're getting into some pretty pricey enclosures. And then, of course, these would also be pretty good. It's a little low, but you'd probably get by with it. And then, of course, if you want to go all out, you can do these two. Real arboreal enclosures. For these, I looked at the Reptizoo. Obviously, you can go bigger than these, but I would suggest this one here. A 30 by 12 by 18 gives you some vertical space to work with, or the 30 by 18 by 18. But this would be probably minimum size enclosure in my view. So you're looking at around $200. And then if we're going to look at dubias, you could go with this one. Not ideal because it doesn't have enough space, vertical space. I wish they had a 24 by 18 by 24. As far as I can tell, so you could do that one. That would be a decent one. So you're looking at 200, 100 very minimum. You could also do this one, gives them a little bit more vertical space there. So 170 would be preferred. I would say that's probably as cheap as I would go. This you could get by with, but I wouldn't suggest it. And then this would be significantly better than this. So pay an extra, $20 for this one. I would highly recommend. Honestly, of these so far, this would probably be my pick unless you want the clear view one, which this would be good. These are great too. And this one would be a great one to keep them in. It's just a little bit more on the pricey end. So either one of these would be great, but again, pricier. And then this one would be pretty good as well. But my pick would be go for this 36 by 18 by 18 reptile enclosure. Also, Dubia, if you want to sponsor me with your, I believe, we'll do a shameless little see how big their enclosures get to. Probably going to be at the bottom or not. Oh, this would also be a great enclosure for them. Actually, yeah, $150 for that, or that would be great too. It looks like Dubia may not have enclosures big enough for my needs, but unfortunate. But uh, however, what Dubia does do great, which we can talk about a little bit with the feeding for these guys, is bugs. So Dubia roaches, gross, yes. I would say that the Broadhead Skink, an adult, can eat all the way up to 1.25 pretty easily. Also, Dubia is great. They give you samples. They even tell you how to breed Dubias if you want to. I have not personally ordered from them, but I think that they would do that. It's just, I've heard good things about them. But, so Dubias, I would suggest as your, like, that's what you would normally feed them. You could probably do hornworms every once in a while as a treat. Superworms, isopods. You could probably even feed them a hissing cockroach every once in a while. It's just occasional feeding. I wouldn't do it as a regular. But Dubia is great because you can get like a combination, like let's say a subadult leopard gecko, which you could probably do. So you do Dubias. It would come with 100 Dubias, 100 Nutrigrubs, 12 hornworms, and 50 large mealworms, and that would last you a pretty good long while. So we've talked. I would say for these guys, probably do both a misting and a water dish until you can figure out what they prefer drinking from. Because there's not much data out there. I would guess that they would drink from a dish. And then, of course, probably want a basking temperature of 90 to 95 degrees is what I would say. And then ambient temperatures could get as low as 65, 70. Or 70, 65, 60 at night is what I would say. Again, a lot of this is speculation. Humidity probably isn't a big deal. You probably want some decent humidity in the leaf litter, but that could just be done with your misting. Yeah, UVB, probably either UV, not UV index, but the, what's it called? My bad, I'm not the solar. What's it called? It's a something zone. Ferguson zone. Um, it's a Ferguson zone. Exoterra has an article right here. So I'd say it's probably similar to. It would probably be zone 2 to zone 3. So that's what I would suggest. So probably have a basking rock up at zone 3 and then different areas of zone 2. So like green anole is zone 2, so it lives in the same habitat as green anole, but I personally think that they get a little bit more sun. So probably in between 2 and 3 would be my suggestion. But that's going to be it for today's episode. Please like and subscribe, comment, let me know how I'm doing. Any companies that want to sponsor me from this video, feel free to. Just get in contact with me. I'll be happy to rep your brand as long as I believe in it. Um, I will vet whatever sponsorships or anything. Not that I've gotten any offers or anything, but yeah. So I'll see y'all in the next episode. Goodbye.